Creative movement is a term that gets thrown around a lot. But does it just mean to put on some music and let kids dance however they want? No. In this video, I'll show you how to use creative movement with intention and why it's so good for your students. Welcome back to Morning Basket Music, your best resource for learning how to teach music to kids. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good dance party. It's totally fine to put on some of your favorite tunes so everybody can just dance and get their wiggles out. But what I want to share about today is how to take creative movement and really bump it up a notch so that we get our kids thinking outside the box. First, you might be wondering, well then what is creative movement exactly? So I want to make an analogy for you. Imagine that you and I are sitting next to each other in an art class. In the first scenario, the teacher says, today we're all going to paint a picture of a monkey in the jungle. And she shows us step by step how to draw the ears and the body and the tail and how many trees to put in the background, and then says we're all now going to paint our monkeys brown. Well, if you and I are to compare our pictures, they probably look pretty similar, right? Because we followed the same set of instructions. In the other scenario, the teacher sets up a scene for us. Imagine that we're all visiting the jungle today and we come across some monkeys, and it's up to you to paint what you want the scene to look like. So she's given us some parameters, but now that we have the freedom to use our imagination and make our monkey scene look however we want to, they're probably going to end up pretty different, right? Your monkey might have really large curved ears where mine might be tiny. Maybe your monkey has a curly tail and mine is just kind of plain and long, and we have different animals or trees in the background. Let's apply this analogy back to movement with music. In the first scenario, it's more like when we teach pattern movement. Think, for example, a line dance. With a line dance, it's super important that we follow the step-by-step instructions so everyone is doing the same thing at the same time, because that's how it works. But in the other scenario, with creative movement, we're going to simply set some parameters of what everyone is allowed to do. For example, you can't go run out the room and start dancing on the roof, right? But you are giving them freedom and flexibility to use their imaginations and to decide how they want to express themselves through movement. I'm going to show you 4 different ways to incorporate creative movement into your teaching. Idea number 1, movement using scarves or other materials. These are a lot of fun, yes, because they're colorful, but also because they provide a great tactile experience, which is good for a lot of kids. And as a bonus, they're soft, right? So you don't have to worry about somebody getting whacked in the face and getting accidentally hurt by one of these. It allows us a great opportunity to start teaching about personal space and boundaries. Plus, here's one of my favorite things with using these scarves. We want to start expanding our students' movement repertoire. For example, besides the obvious motion of up and down or side to side with our scarves, let's think. What's another way that we could make these scarves look different? Maybe we toss them over our heads like this in a rainbow shape, or maybe we spin them really fast like a cyclone in the air. If you just ask your students and allow them to use their imaginations with these scarves, you'll be amazed at what ideas they come up with. Idea number 2, using printed movement cards. The set I'm going to show you in this video came from a website called royalbaloo.com, and I will make sure to link these below in the video description. These cards actually I chose to go along with one of my Morning Basket Music unit studies that accompanies the book 3 Cheers for Kid Mid-Gear. And here's what I really like about these cards in particular. Yes, they give the students an idea of how they might move, but they're not too specific. For example, let's look at this one. Scoop like a loader. Well, one person might just use tiny hand motions like this to scoop like a loader. Another person might use a giant single arm motion to scoop like a loader. And even another person might use both arms, scoop something really deep, and then dump it over their shoulder. So Think back to our painting analogy from the beginning of this video. Yes, we want to set parameters for our students, but the goal is for them to be creative and be flexible with their motions. So we're not trying to get everyone to look exactly the same. If you choose a theme, for example, like animals, I would be really careful. Don't give the students instructions like, let's all slither like a snake. Because if you look around, first of all, it's going to be absolute chaos. And second, you're going to have everyone moving in exactly the same way as they slither on the ground. Remember, the goal is we want to set parameters, but also allow them flexibility to be creative. Idea number 3, partner mirroring. I'm just going to use this guy because I don't have any kids around right at this moment, but he's going to do a great job mirroring my motions. So you're going to have each partner facing the other and decide who will be leading the movement and who will be following. So it's important for them to understand that if we looked at each other like a mirror reflection, if I start to move this direction, then my partner will mirror that, or if I move the other way. And it's really fun to think about, like ask them this question. What if you look in the mirror and you start to move back, like you're leaning backwards, what will your reflection do? It will also lean backwards or forwards. So this is great for helping kids to start developing some of that spatial awareness, and you'll see those wheels start spinning in their brains. Anytime you're doing a partner activity like this, of course, it's important to make sure that they are allowed to take turns, so one person leads the movement while the other person follows, and then give them a chance to switch. Idea number 4, allow kids to create one small section of movement as part of a larger dance. So anytime I have a longer song for us to dance to, and it has very defined sections, I will usually do something like this. For part A, here's the 16 beats of movement that everyone's gonna do. For example, we march in a big circle counterclockwise. And then in part B, here's the pattern movement that everybody does. But once we get to a shorter part of the song, for example, there might be a short musical interlude where there is no singing, then I will give students here an opportunity to use their creative movement. And it could look a couple different ways. It could be during that 8-beat musical interlude, everyone gets to just create their own motions and then we come back together. Or it could look something like I call on volunteers to demonstrate a creative movement for us. Johnny, for the first 4 beats, tell us how you want us to move. And he says, we're all gonna sway our arms back and forth for 4 beats. And then Susie, do you have another idea? And Susie says she wants us to all roll our arms really fast together for the next 4 beats. So it is less creative on an individual level, but we are allowing our students to have some thought and input into how they want the group to move. Here's a quick recap of creative movement ideas for your teaching. Movement using scarves or other materials, printed movement cards like the construction set I showed you, partner mirroring, and finally, creating a small section of a larger dance. As we all know, variety is the spice of life, so you don't just want to pick a favorite activity and do it over and over on repeat because we all get bored doing the same thing. But you, the teacher, can use your own imagination and come up with ways to incorporate creative movement in your class. If you have ideas that you've tried before and you love, I'd like to hear about those in the comments below. As always, be sure to subscribe to Morning Basket Music so you don't miss a thing. Until next time, happy music making!